I grew a personal brand in 30 days. I gained nearly 50,000 followers in less than a month. Building a personal brand, or at least the foundation for a personal brand, it's not about luck, it's not about consistency, it's not about your content in the way that you think. It is about optimizing your page. I started changing one thing about my content in the beginning of October. For my birthday, I wanted to have this life-changing 180 in my life. I started doing a skincare routine, I started doubling down on social media, and I started implementing this new strategy. I focused more on search engine optimization because TikTok is becoming a search engine. I work for a marketing company. I know what matters and what doesn't. When it comes to marketing, when it comes to having your content get out there, I actually do social media management and social media content creation for clients. Part of my job is to look at the analytics and look and see what does well. When you apply that to your personal brand, to your personal social media pages, you will skyrocket into oblivion. I was posting on TikTok for a year straight, nothing. Okay, I got 10 to 15,000 followers, the majority of them being male followers, because I was curating content that was decent content, but I wasn't catering it towards women and I wasn't catering it towards my target audience that I could potentially monetize my platform off of. I'm not going to be able to monetize if all my platform is men, because what are they going to buy from me? Unless I have a link in my bio, they're not going to want anything to do with me other than seeing me as some eye candy. So I doubled down. It took me probably like 3 or 4 months to just start switching up my entire content, the way I approach it, my hashtags, my captions, my on-screen text, the way I applied myself in my content, and the way I displayed it for the viewer. It wasn't an inherent problem with my content, but my content was getting to male viewers and it was gaining the wrong traction. So my personal brand was kind of dying because the men don't care about who I am. There might be a small percentage of them, but the majority of them were just leaving nasty comments. So I had to think, okay, what do I do? I started changing the words I use, especially instead of saying like physique, I would say dream body. And I would start catering towards women that were outside of the realm of bodybuilding and gym rat talk, because that is how I actually ended up hitting the jackpot. Another thing that I did was start a series. I started a series on hip dips, and it's like specific exercises to see if you can get rid of hip dips. And people came along for the ride. Why? Because it is a common thing. It's an insecurity of many, and it's an insecurity of mine simply because my hip dips are actually uneven. So I'm saying, hey, let me see if I can do something for myself, but I also want to share with the community and see, hey, is this something that can work? And I got 20,000 followers alone from that. I've been able to kind of nurture this following that I've been getting, and I'm saying, okay, so I'm still posting fitness content, and I'm posting fitness content and doubling down on the stuff that I can make my niche, that I can have people specifically come to me for and know me for. I'm in the works of creating free guide, consulting services, ebooks, you name it. And it's all because I was able to establish myself very well and get my roots deep very quickly. Things can change in a matter of 30 days. I want to make a video more specifically about how to do search engine optimization and stuff, because it's a lot more nitty-gritty than you think, and it's a lot more statistical than you think. I'm someone who loves statistics, who loves analytics. If you're not checking out your analytics for pretty much every single video, you are completely missing out. Analytics, it is what you need to do to make your content next level. Your analytics tells you what your viewers want. And I think a lot of the times people say, oh, well, I don't want to post some sort of content. I don't want to post one specific type. You don't have to, but you also need to know of the content that you are posting, how are you going to set it up in a way that people actually want to watch and they're actually searching for said thing. And a lot of the times, once you have a personal brand, once you have a following, there's going to be people in the comments commenting a bunch of stuff. You look at the top most liked comment and make a video on that topic because you know it's relevant and you know people are relating to that thing. I've had people say, hey, can you make a video about this? Can you make a video about that? I'll make a video about exactly what they said. It'll pop off because it's coming from my ideal viewer. So there's other viewers like that want this exact content, and it's not out in the world. As I'm scrolling on TikTok, I look at other people's accounts and other people's content. People who are genuinely trying to be content creators, they are completely flopping. Even though their content is halfway decent, they're not optimizing their content and they're not optimizing their page to be for the viewer. You want to make content that you enjoy making, but you also want to optimize it for the viewer. Use the words that a viewer would use. I've seen a lot of girls complain about how their male following is so much and it's crazy and they can't get brand deals because of it. And I'm like, girl, once you get to like 1 million followers, and if it's majority men, like, yeah, like that's gonna be really hard to turn around. But I had 15,000 followers, and you know what I did? Every single day, TikTok allows you to delete 100 followers, to remove 100 followers in your list. So I would go down, I would remove 100 men from my list. That decreased my male following by a few percentage points. As I started implementing the content, the hashtags, the captions that cater towards women, that cater towards girls, I didn't even need to remove followers anymore. My following literally went from 80% men to 80% women. It's actually insane. And when you're like, oh, it's the algorithm, or it's not me, it's the men's fault that they're doing this, that they think like, it's not. It is 100% you, how you portray your videos, how you optimize your videos, and your ideal viewer. It is your responsibility to tap in and say, okay, my goal is to have female engaged audience. And if that's your goal, then you have to take the steps to do that. And you need to realize, okay, why are all the men coming here? Okay, because I'm posting a video of me doing squats with no on-screen text, with no valuable information that a woman could use, with no caption that's optimizing my content, with no hashtags that are relevant for women. Why would a woman come across my page? That's the extent of it, because the girls are loyal. Once they're in with you, they are loyal. And that's another thing you need to understand, is that if you want to build a fan base, if you want to build a community that's actually engaged and cares about you, you need to respond in the comments. Time and time again, I will come across people's videos and they won't be answering questions. And like, there's only 10 comments on the video. It's like, take your time to engage with your community. And they're not. I will respond to basically all the comments as I physically can. Responding to all the comments, create more engagement, brings the viewers back to your video, which then they can comment again and give you more engagement. It's literally a tenfold thing. So I left probably like 200, 300 comments on my own video, which then people have to go through the comments and read. So the more time that someone's going through the comments and reading, the more content there is in the comments to read, the more watch time you're gonna get. The more that video is gonna pop off. You know what I mean? So the second I go see a video and it hits in my head, I go to the comments. We start talking. I start liking comments. Any sort of engagement. Someone's immediate reaction to a video is to like the video and go to the comments. If the comments have 2 comments in it, there's nothing for them to read. There's no content. The watch time on that video is going to be significantly less. So you want to be responding. You want to be having conversations in there so you can get your watch time up, which will then push out the video more. The comment section, I would say, is like a large percent of what makes up if a video is going to go viral or not. If someone has something to say, if it's controversial, if someone disagrees with you, that is like the perfect recipe for virality, is controversial debating, and that's fine. And a lot of my videos, there's been clashes in the comments, and that's okay, as long as it's not like some serious topic. Like, we were talking about body types, and I said how I made my inverted triangle body into an hourglass, and people are like, well, you're not an hourglass, you're still an inverted triangle. And like, everyone just started arguing in the comments of like what I am and what I'm not, and I'm completely okay with that, because I am secure in my body, and I built up my body to the way it is, and I'm fine with it. Whether or not I'm an inverted triangle or an hourglass, I really couldn't care less, because I still am what I am. My measurements are what they are. You want to be making content that like, you're okay if someone bashes you for it. You have to be secure enough in your own body to stop answering comments if it gets to that point. I will respond to someone once, maybe twice, if we're getting into like some sort of debate, but I'm not going to be going on for 20 comments at a time like some of these other people that are in my comments. People are defending me till the day they die. It's actually insane. Like the comments, I posted a video about my hair and I have really dry hair. So with that product, it looks really bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie. And people are like, you need to cut off half of your hair. It's so unhealthy, it's damaged, you're gonna make it worse. And everyone in the comments is like, no, her hair's beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And then like they literally were going at it. They're still going at it. It's been weeks and they're still responding to each other. The same people, it's been weeks. I'm just like, this is what keeps pushing that video, is the constant engagement in the comments. So if you can get a video that you know is going to get comments, or you just kind of kickstart the commentary in there, answer questions, just say thank you so much for a compliment, it's going to boost your video a lot more, because if someone spends an extra 2 seconds on your video, that's gonna do something. I see a lot of people have videos that blow up, get in the millions, even tens of millions, and then I go to look at their followers, they're under 10K. And you're like, what? Why? Because it wasn't a valuable enough video, because it was probably funny, it was entertaining in some way, but someone's not gonna follow you for a quick laugh. They may share the video, and that's why it has so many views, but they're not gonna follow along for the ride, because that's not some type of personal brand behind it. It's just content. And there's a difference between like this brain rot content that like we doom scroll for, and there's occasionally a video. I'll be doom scrolling. I try not to. I'm kind of doing a challenge for that. 1 week no doom scroll, which I will be posting a video about. You know, there's always like a video when you scroll, when you're doom scrolling, that wakes you up. That you're like, damn, this is some valuable information. This is the stuff that I should be watching and applying myself to. And that's the type of content that I try and make. I try and make captivating, very intriguing, interesting, like videos based on my current knowledge. Most of it's based on fitness, but I also am into business and just entrepreneurship, health and wealth, everything like that. Leveling up in all aspects of your life. And some people just know nothing. You guys need to understand, if you are like a genius in one topic, there's people out there that know nothing, literally know nothing, and you're like thinking in your head, how do they know nothing about this? Like, that's actually crazy that they have no idea about any of this information. But it's because I've been in the fitness space for 10 plus years. I've been doing research, reading research articles, watching YouTube videos of these, you know, these science-based lifters, the other just regular influencers. I have so much information in my head, and I think that's why I've been able to like display that information so easily. And you have to display information in a way that's understandable and digestible to the viewer. I am someone to use like big words that like, I basically talk like a scientific journal sometimes, and I have to dumb it down. Not saying that everyday people are dumb, just saying that I am like very weird in my ways in which I converse and which I talk. And I need to change my ways when I'm talking to certain people. Instead of like going off about like all these scientific things and the muscle names, people are gonna get bored. People are gonna say, so instead of saying like your quadricep muscles or like something like that, I mean, that's not too deep, but just like your leg muscle, your outer leg, your outer thigh. People like to apply it to more simple terms because they're simple creatures. We don't need much. You can still educate people without going into the nitty gritty, because I personally love the nitty gritty. This is my bread and butter. But for someone else, they don't need to know the nitty gritty. They just need to know the basics, right? The general idea, the general concept of what you're saying. So try not to like go overwhelmingly into a topic. It just makes it too much. It throws them off and it makes them swipe because they're like, what is going on? You also need to be confident in what you were saying. So I would say, unless you've been doing something for 6 months to a year, unless you've been working out or doing anything for 6 months to a year, I feel like you shouldn't be speaking on it, because I realize that my confidence is just not there when it comes to talking about stuff that I've known about, that I've taught myself about for 6 months or less. It's just not there. Some people may be able to do it. It's just not in the cards for me. So I just give myself a 6 month limit to really boost my confidence in that said topic before I make content about it. I also really want to understand the content myself before teaching it to other people. But teaching it is part of the learning process. So I think that's kind of like the last step in your own personal growth, is teaching it to other people. And when you can do that, you know that you have the shit solid. I know this video was kind of everywhere, but this is literally how my brain is. I want you guys to come here for the ride, and I want you guys to apply this to your life so that you can get paid to exist, so that you can have a financially free life, and you can just pop off. Because I didn't do anything special. It just takes a little bit of knowledge in the background of stuff to succeed.